Hey everyone, it's Melissa from the Turtle Nail Salon. Thank you for tuning in today. If it's your first time visiting my channel, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I do a shellac manicure on natural nails. When Barb arrived for her appointment, I asked her if she wouldn't mind if I did some filming, and she said, sure, absolutely. So stay tuned to watch how I work. And as usual, you can go ahead if you like and grab yourself a snack or a bevy or both. All right, let's get started. For a shellac manicure, I start by filing and shaping the natural nails. I am using a CND brand Kanga File, and for this particular file, you're not required to file from corner to center. You can actually go back and forth on the natural nail because it's such a fine grit file. This by far is one of my favorite files. When I first started working in my salon, I was just using a DannyCo brand file. They were much lower cost, but I ended up changing them quite frequently for my clients so that I could keep the grit how I wanted it. With these particular files, I can reuse them on the same client time and time again. I don't use the same file on multiple clients. That's just ick. Every client has their own file, their own cuticle stick, and their own buffer. My buffers do change from time to time. Right now I am using the pink DannyCo buffers. They are technically for single use. Sometimes I can get 2 uses out of the same buffing block for the client. Other times I can only get 1 use and I just replace them as need be. They're not expensive at all. What I'm doing now is I'm cleaning out from under the free edge of the natural nail with a cuticle stick. This just gets all the little bits out, and then I take my pink buffing block that I was just talking about and I go under just to remove those little bits. It works fantastic. I'll do this on both the right hand and on the left hand. So on the left hand now, I'm going to go ahead and do my filing and shaping, and then I'll go through and I'll clean under the free edge, and then I will use the pink buffing block again. Sometimes what I do when I am doing a manicure is I will file and shape all 10 nails, and then I will go with my cuticle stick and clean out under all 10 nails, and then I'll use my pink buffing block just to polish it up. Today I decided to work on one hand, do all the filing and shaping, and then do all the cleanup and use my pink buffer, and then proceed to the left hand. It really doesn't matter if you're doing all 10 nails and doing all the filing first and then the cleanup, as long as you pretty much do all of the nails in whatever order works for you, which is normally filing and shaping first, cleaning under the free edge, and then getting rid of all the little bits. But just do whatever works for you. I've been doing this for quite a few years, and I still switch back and forth. Sometimes I'll file all 10, and then sometimes I'll work just on the right hand, and then I'll move to the left hand. Normally, I do save my cuticle work for after I've done all the filing and shaping and cleanup, and then I do one hand where I push all of the cuticles back, and then I will go back and do whatever nipping is required. Now I'm just cleaning off the natural nails. I don't remember if she came with polish on or not, and I removed that. But I'm just getting rid of any kinds of oils before I start pushing back the cuticles. And here we go, pushing back the cuticles. I use a metal pusher. I have done that for years, probably since I was out of school. You can also use a cuticle stick, the wooden ones. They're made of different types of woods. It doesn't really matter which one you decide to purchase. They all do the same thing. When you are doing your cuticle work and pushing back the cuticles, always be gentle with your metal pusher. If you push too hard, you can damage the nail plate, and then that has to grow out, and you'll have an unhappy client if you are damaging their nail plate doing cuticle work. Sometimes I find if a client hasn't been to see me for an extended period of time, they'll have more cuticle work to do than what they normally would do every 2, 3, or 4 weeks. So if you do have a client that comes and they've been absent for whatever reason, doesn't really matter why they've been absent, just be happy that they're back and take your time doing the cuticle work. It's gonna be worth the extra few minutes that you spend doing that, because their product is going to adhere to the natural nail much better. Normally what I do when I am pushing back the cuticles is I will get a little bit of skin or nail debris, whatever you really want to call it, because the cuticle is skin that has grown on the natural nail as it grows out. I will wipe my cuticle pusher just on the towel I have to my right, just to keep the pusher clean. It's going to work better if you're always using clean implements. And by the way, this shouldn't have to be said, but I am going to say it anyways. Always make sure that you are cleaning your implements that you've used. So if that's a cuticle pusher, a pair of cuticle nippers, and a nail clipper, doesn't matter how well you know your client, always, always, always clean them first with soap and water, and then use a disinfectant that will get rid of viruses, bacteria, fungus. There's one more, I can't think of what it is right now. I currently use in my salon the Preempt CS20. It's a hospital grade disinfectant, and it's equivalent to using an autoclave for your metal implements. That's what I've been told by another nail technician who's got quite a bit of training. So that's what I've gone with in my salon. I've used that almost since I've opened. It's gone through some rebranding. It used to be known as Excel CS20, but now it's been rebranded as Preempt CS20. You can also get Preempt wipes. I use those in my salon for doing my cleaning in between clients, especially now with COVID-19. COVID-19 is a fairly simple germ to clean. The downside of COVID-19 is that it sticks around on multiple surfaces for different lengths of time. So I just playing it safe, and I've just kept using my Excel wipes, my Preempt wipes, and I'll continue doing those until a more superior product comes to market. So here I am doing a little bit of nipping. You really only want to nip if something is waving at you or getting detached from the natural nail. You don't ever want to go and cut anything that's completely attached to the natural nail or to the skin. folks. Looks like I just bumped my camera a little bit with my noggin. Barb's cuticles actually weren't too bad considering she hadn't been probably in almost 6 or 7 weeks. So I just did my usual cleanup on them and brought them back to how they normally are when she comes for her manicures every 3 weeks. Looks like she had something stuck on her nail, so I was just doing a little bit of extra cleanup there. Some people, you'll notice if they haven't been in a while, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, when the cuticle, which is skin, is growing out with the natural nail. For some people, that pushes back super duper easy. For other people, it's incredibly hard to push that cuticle back. So what I've done before is I just work really slowly at pushing it back, and if it's still not wanting to budge, you can take some water and spray the natural nails just to get it a little bit wet. You can also use CND, I believe it's called Cuticle Away. I'm just gonna check my bottle here. Yes, it's a CND Essentials Cuticle Away. It's a cuticle remover. When you are using this particular product, you only use a very small amount and you never touch the nozzle of your bottle to the client's skin. This will contaminate your entire bottle and then you'll be throwing it out and having to buy a new one. Once you've put this product on, you can spread it around with your Cuticle Pusher on all 10 nails, and then you can go back and start removing it. Oh, pardon me, before you start removing it, that's when, after you have spread your cuticle away, you can go back and start pushing all the cuticles back on all 10 nails. Once that is done, you need to neutralize the product with water. Otherwise, it will continue to keep eating away at whatever skin it has come in contact with. So you do want to use caution when you are using the CND Cuticle Away. It's a fantastic product. I rarely have to use it because my clients are coming regularly. It's also not one of my favorites, even though I did say it's a fantastic product. It's great, there's nothing wrong with it. I've just trained with different products when I was in school, and I liked those ones a lot better. I just don't know what they were. Barb every now and then has a couple of nails where the layers peel apart. So I remove whatever might flake off in the next day or so, just so that it doesn't take the polish with it, because otherwise if I just leave that little bit of flaky nail there, the product is just gonna chip right off and then she'll have to come back and get that fixed. She's a busy lady. She doesn't have time to be coming back for repairs. So I try and do as much preventative work on her nails as possible. So there I am, just getting rid of little bits of hangnails that she's got along the sides of her nails. She usually has them on all of her nails. That's completely normal. Some people are blessed and they rarely have a hangnail. She is not lucky that way, neither am I. I always have tons of hangnails on both sides of my nail, on all my fingers, so I do have to keep up with doing cuticle work on myself. And always be gentle with your cuticle nippers. Don't use pressure with them. It's not a good idea. Again, you can damage the natural nail. They are simply there to trim or cut, whatever word you want to use. They're not there for scraping on the nail plate. if you have product that hasn't removed properly from a shellac manicure, soak it a little bit longer just to get everything off. I know sometimes time doesn't permit for that, so you can take a buffer and lightly buff just the product. You do not want to buff the natural nail. That defeats the purpose of using shellac on the person's nails. I believe the video is going to cut out right away. I didn't realize that my camera was actually almost full for memory. So we did miss doing the rest of the cuticle work and applying base coat to all of the nails except for this one here. So I'm just finishing up with base coat on the thumb on the left hand. Prior to base coat, I would have cleaned all of the nails using CND Scrub Fresh. It's a blue tinted liquid. It is good for removing oil, dehydrating the nail, and it leaves little pathogen fighters behind to help prevent any type of infection from occurring. It's a great product. I really like it. I've used it pretty much since I have graduated from nail school. I don't think I'll ever go to anything else. So I am polishing her nails with one of my CND shellac colors. I can't remember the exact name of it at this moment, but I will link the name of it down below in the description. That way you know what to look for. It's one of the more recent collections. So as usual with shellac, I'm applying a thin layer, capping the edge of the natural nails. This particular color that Barb had picked has a little bit of a shimmer to it. So I do find if I polish the surface of the natural nail and then I go and cap the free edge, it almost leaves like a line on the end. So you'll notice I'll do my polishing, do the free edge, and then I'll just go back and make sure that that line has disappeared just by retouching the end. You'd kind of think at this point in my career that I would cap the edge first and then, you know, polish the nail. But, you know, old habits, they die hard, and that's okay. So here I am just taking a cuticle stick and I am cleaning up any polish that might be on the skin. In my last video, I mentioned to make sure you're always cleaning up because you don't want to send your client's hand into your UV lamp or your LED lamp with shellac on their skin. It will cure to the skin and it takes a couple of days for that to come off. Now we're just working on the left hand, doing the same thing that we did on the right hand, applying a thin layer of shellac and then capping the free edge. Always make sure you're applying your shellac in a thin layer when you're doing it on the natural nail. That way it will avoid any kind of wrinkling or rippling when you are curing in your lamp. I have noticed when I have applied shellac to a filed surface of a gel enhancement that I can put it on a little bit thicker on that first coat. I generally don't though, because I am used to applying the product very thin. Not sure what happened here as to why I stopped for a moment. I probably had a hair on the brush and was trying to fix it. There we go. Going back to polishing. And even when you're doing this first layer and capping the free edge, if you forget to go back and just fix that little mark that capping the free edge makes, you're still going to do your second layer of shellac, so it will cover that. Just doing that same cleanup as we did on the right hand, making sure there's no shellac on the client's skin. And then her hand is going to go into the LED lamp and cure for 1 minute on setting 2S. And there I am doing the second layer of shellac. It's usually quite quicker doing that second layer because you've basically already built your quote-unquote foundation on the nail. So you're just going back in and making sure that there aren't any shadow spots or see-through spots. There we go, cleaning up again. I'm very, very diligent. If you've noticed, even in previous videos, I'm always making sure there isn't either gel or shellac on the client's skin. If there's repeated exposure to our products on your client's skin, after a certain amount of time, I shouldn't say a certain amount of time, my apologies. After a length of time, they can develop allergies to your product. So it's super important that you're very diligent in your application of whatever product you're choosing to use. I've seen nail technicians out there who are very, I don't know if I want to use the word sloppy, or they're just not careful and they're getting it all over the skin. And that's a really bad habit to start. So always try when you first start doing nails that you're always being very diligent with your application. There we go, doing some final cleanup on the left hand. I'm just checking. Go. She's going to go in and cure that hand in the LED lamp on the same setting as before. Her right hand is out, and normally I would go straight into top coat, but I noticed that the bottle was actually quite dirty, so I cleaned that up and took care of that. I think I actually took, yeah, I did. I took the bristle or the brush out of the lid, and then I took another cotton wipe. I saturated it with 99% isopropyl alcohol, jammed it in there, and then just twirled it around until it was nice and clean, and then I popped the brush back in and then just closed the bottle up. If you continually close your bottles and you're not cleaning them, the solvents will start to evaporate and you'll end up with polish that is thickening on you. Barb is one of my few clients that likes to put Swarovski crystals on her nails. We usually only do one on each hand. Oh, sorry, I just bonked the camera. Oh my gosh. I don't recall what size crystal. Oh, here we go. It's the, oh, I missed it on the video. I'll link the size down below as to what I was using. This in particular was a bulk pack that I ordered, so it came with 1,440 crystals, I believe. I'll double check that and also link that down below as to where I got it from as well. I am using a crystal katana to apply the crystals to her manicure. Sometimes I'll put down a little bit of clear top coat to stick the rhinestone on, and then I will have them go ahead and cure their nail in the lamp once the stone is on there. Other times the shellac inhibition layer is sticky enough, so I will just go ahead and put the stone right on there and then top coat it. This tool, the Crystal Katana, is absolutely amazing. It's really important when you're using it that you just use the jeweler's wax tip to pick up the stone and place it, and then flip your katana around and use the metal point to press it down into place. If you're using the jeweler's wax tip to press all of your crystals in place, you'll start to actually lose the shape of that wax. So super important that you're just using the metal end or the stylus end of it to press your crystals in place. And there I am, just putting all my crystals away. I can see it just in the shadow of the machine there. both of her hands are curing for the full minute on the LED lamp. It's always important to cure your product for however long the manufacturer recommends. Doing it shorter under-processes the product, and that can also cause allergic reactions. So here I am using some of the CND Shellac Duraforce top coat. The Duraforce top coat was designed, I believe, after they discontinued the CND Breesolite. The Breesolite was developed so that you could put a very thin layer of Breesolite smoothing gel and then put your color over top, and it would extend the wear time to 3 weeks. The product, for me, it worked really well, but it must have not sold well because it did get discontinued. I'm not entirely sure the reasoning behind that, but the Duraforce top coat is designed to provide some extra longevity to the Shellac Manicure up to 3 weeks. Little piece of fuzz here that we're going to get rid of. And then Barb likes it when I cover her stones with the top coat. That way they don't fall off. Not everybody likes that, and that's okay. I just let my client know that if we're going to put the stone on at the very end into the top coat, that there is a risk if they knock it hard enough that it can actually just pop off. So most of my clients either get it so that they are encapsulated with the top coat, or they just don't take stones at all, and I'll do some artwork to mimic the idea of stones being there. And again, just some cleanup, making sure there's no top coat left on the skin. I don't usually get too much, but those little tiny bits, you still want to clean them off before you cure them. And then we'll just go into the left hand here. She likes to have her stones on different fingernails between the two hands. Sometimes she'll do the ring finger on one hand and the pinky on the other. Other times she'll switch it up. She'll usually always have one stone on a ring finger, and then she'll do the pointer finger. And I believe today we did the pointer and the ring finger. Another piece of fuzz there. And we're just top coating the last nail here on the thumb. Again, I'll go in and make sure that there's no product touching the skin. There we go, and she'll cure that hand in the LED lamp again on the same setting, 2S for 1 minute. Her right hand is all done, so what I'll do now is I'll take a cotton pad and soak it, or I shouldn't say soak it, I'll put some 99% isopropyl alcohol and I will clean off the inhibition layer. That's the sticky layer that is on every layer of either gel polish or gel. Once I've got all of the nails cleaned off, I will apply some cuticle oil just to help moisten up the skin. We've done a lot of cleaning between the Scrub Fresh and the alcohol, so it's really dried out the skin. So this is their CND Solar Oil, one of my favorite products. I mentioned, I think, in one of my last videos that I used to make my own cuticle oil when I first started doing nails. I liked doing it and I could customize the formula, but eventually what happened is the Canadian dollar changed as well as the markets. So when my products were arriving in store, they were double if not triple the price, and I just couldn't make it work for my budget. So I ended up just going with the solar oil. I buy it in bulk and it saves me money. And then we'll do the same thing on the left hand. I did forget to take a picture of her finished nails, so I do apologize, but they turned out fantastic. And Barb normally gets a French manicure, but because it had been such a long time since she had come, we decided to do a color on her nails. She was very happy with the color she picked. So she'll be back in about 3 weeks and we'll take this off with the removal process and then give her a French manicure. There we go, all done. And that's how I do a shellac manicure. Thank you for watching my video today, and as always, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and also to ring the bell. That way you'll always be notified when I post a new video. Thanks so much. Bye.